Let's go!
Whoa!
Tier list again.
Yeah, this is Maxi Burger and Percival Fine in the house.
We're in there.
Doing this quickly because this always takes so
Too
much
long.
time every week,
Yeah.
so that's why this week I wouldn't even have anything much to say about stuff, but I just wanna sit here and celebrate mangas. I wanna
the good
be
ones
like,
anyway.
The good ones, yeah. There's not much bad this week. This week was really good. This is the double issue week for Golden Week, so we're at the end of...
Bondo will be dead next week. Or pantsless.
It offers itself for so many opportunities to redo the same joke over and over again. But it's one of my favorite jokes in Roboco, so that's okay. But let's jump right into it, shall we?
Let's.
Yeah, so it starts with One Piece. This was one of the best chapters. S tier for sure. 81 points. This is when Garp fights Kuzan, also known as Aokiji. And we get a small flashback on how he joined the Blackbeards, and they give some back information that was really interesting. Wasn't as good as the last week when Garp was just believing everything on the island, but also we get to see the outcome of Law facing Blackbeard while he's away from the island. I'm not that big of a fan of Beppo Sulong. It's it's not cute. It's really, really ugly. It's not even cool. It's just
Big Bear.
So, big, ugly bear. I don't like it, but everything else was pretty cool. And also, it would have been too much if Law had anything other than complete defeat, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can't make him too good.
No.
He's already way too OP.
Yeah, they big up Law and Kid during the Kaido fight a lot. And then now they're like, nope. They're done. You're
not Emperor material. They thought they could, but... you know what? I've already gotten spoiled on next week, and there's someone who also thinks he's Emperor material. So, let's hope for next week coming out in a fashion that's not leaving everybody hanging.
Yeah.
So yeah, next up, Jujutsu Kaisen. This is the chapter when Gojo Sensei gets
He's
revived.
Free! Finally! He's been in that little Pokemon ball for so long. Finally they freed him.
I kind of forgot, didn't we get some kind of other condition for the angel to just free him? Wasn't there something else they needed to clear?
I don't remember. I thought it was just get Angel and put her together with the Gojo box, and he'll be free.
Okay, because somehow I remembered it being way more complicated. Like, okay, we have to do this, and then the angel will be able to do it, and then the angel will also be willing to do it. So I think
might be right, and I just forgot about it because there's so much that all the
probably
plans.
Tied to Sukuna being freed, right?
Would it be? Why would it be with Sukuna being freed? Because it was Kenjaku who made the box, right?
Yeah, but I thought it was kind of like. That's how I remember it. The angel being like, okay, I'll do it, but only if I get to kill Sukuna. And then Sukuna bites a chunk out of her. So I guess she's now like, okay, I can't do this.
I'll do it anyway.
Get the trump card. That's how I remember it. You can correct me in the comments, but also I'm not that overwhelmed by this chapter, even though it's probably the thing that everybody's been waiting for.
Yeah, it's not only the release of Gojo, but it's also the reunion of Gojo and Kenjaku, who he really hates for taking over his friend's dead body.
He doesn't even know it's Kenjaku. He doesn't know his name. He's just
he's just like whoever has Geto's body. Whoever is, I'll kill you.
When he's like, let's postpone our fight to Christmas because no reason at all. I don't know. Is that good? I think that's bad. I think that's blue balling everybody.
It's like when a movie announces that they're going to come out near Christmas just to get people hyped for the Christmas season. I also didn't really understand. It doesn't explain why he pops out near Kenjaku instead of near Angel and everyone else.
There was some complicated stuff that didn't even get shown. It was like, okay, I put the portal, like whenever Gojo maybe breaks free, he will be breaking free at the bottom of the ocean, and also I put a monster there. And then he's like, nope, I teleport here.
Yeah, it didn't quite make sense. Oh well, how would you rate this? Because it's like something that people have been waiting for forever, but it's
just B tier.
Yeah,
64 points. I like Gojo Sensei, but like not that much to be like, yes, best chapter.
I don't hate Gojo Sensei like Gege does, but I'm also not like a giant fan of it.
Yeah.
So whatever.
I mean, he's the All Might of the series, so
yeah.
Either way.
Speaking of All Might.
Yeah,
Really good Hero Academia.
Right.
Are you hype? Are you hype for Mecha All Might next week?
I'm more hype about that than anything else that's going on in the series right now, because it's again at the point where all of the problems overlap, and the heroes are like, "Oh no, what are we going to do? These are so many problems," and we all like Dabi
he turned into a bomb. He turned himself into a nuke.
I feel like this is completely undermining Todoroki's previous victory over him. Like, you had such a good moment, and they're like, no, actually, he didn't win.
And then the plan is just have Ida run Todoroki over to him really fast, and he'll be able to stop him with his eyes. So I think maybe there's still room for our prophecy to come true, that Dabi will eventually die being hugged by his dad, because that's what he really wanted. But that will be the only way to contain his explosion. That might still happen.
I thought he was just going to get frozen in like a glacier.
I think that's what Todoroki is going to plan on, but then somehow it won't happen, and Endeavor will have to sacrifice himself to stop it. That's my guess.
I guess. Endeavor sacrificing himself. I think that's the
also,
how do you like
satisfying. That Stain was teased, like, oh, maybe he's going to do something, but no, he's not. He's going to be the Speedwagon for this.
He should do something.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I think he's cool. He should do something, but if he's not doing anything, that's uncool.
Yeah, it's sad. He's just sitting on the wall.
All Might doing something like one last ditch effort. I think that's pretty cool. So A tier on like barely A tier, 70 points.
Barely. Next up, what we got? Sakamoto Days.
Yeah, Sakamoto
Chapter
Days.
166, Friends. A good show.
Chapter. No, it was not as exciting as the other previous chapters. This chapter is when
I didn't like the fishing pole thing.
He's always doing these kind of things.
I know, but sometimes it's just a bit too ridiculous. Like, that would break.
Yeah, that wouldn't work in real life. Also, like, Akao is in trouble. Sakamoto has to get serious. Why isn't he getting serious right from the start? Should get serious.
Yeah. As soon as you see that you have to save a woman and her daughter instead of just some fat guy, you'll be serious.
So, 62 points. That's B tier. Behind Jujutsu Kaisen, it's all right, but like he's done better last week.
We've had some really good chapters of Sakamoto Days recently. Yeah. This one was just spoiled. Meh.
We're just spoiled.
Yeah.
So next up is Akane-Banashi. This is when she just makes her choice from her senpai Michael, who previously was like, I think you should do this one, but here's some other choices that you might want to do. And she's like, yes, I'm going to continue the legacy of my deceased dad.
He seems
no longer with us.
Deader than ever this time when everyone is talking about him and he's not present. And the fact that she's like, Akane acts like she's super shocked that her senpai learned the story directly from her dad. Like that shouldn't be shocking at all if he's not dead.
Maybe I can imagine an Anituber being like, no, don't you understand? Everything is political, even your Japanese manga stuff that you thought was just mindless, whatever. And then he's going to come out with the theory that Akane-Banashi has been a subtle criticism of Japanese work environment and black companies, because the dad is being treated as if he's dead, even though he's just working a 9-to-5 job.
Just went to a different job, and they're like, he's dead.
And that's basically like, oh, look at these terrible work environments and conditions. Look, everybody's suffering, and we need to do something about it. And it's all packaged in subtly in this as a hidden message in Rakugo. And I'm not buying it, but I think it's funny to say this. I just made up a guy in my mind and got mad about him.
You probably spawned him into reality on YouTube somewhere.
I can't wait to argue.
Anyway, do you think would you say it's B tier as well?
Yeah, B tier, 60 points. It's
See, every time they talk about the
Sakamoto
NEN, though,
days.
I'm like, I want to start like ranking YouTubers I watch with this system. That'll be next.
I think that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Next episode.
Write that down.
Yeah. Since there's not going to be a jump next week. Next up, we
that's
have
true.
Kill Blue, Chapter 2.
So,
Last time he was like super hyped about doing school, and then this time he's like, "Oh, actually, I suck at math."
Thing about Juzo getting excited about learning stuff is the only original thing, like the only original fiber this series has in it.
Maybe it was the editorial staff being like, "Oh, people praised Dr. Stone for getting kids interested in studying science, so we'll have this guy really want to study."
It would be
that'll
really
make the next generation better.
Would be funny if they did that, because I can accept that, but the roundabout way of making up this Detective Conan and Reborn and what other complaints
Sakamoto
I had.
Day.
Sakamoto Days, like packaging it into that would be way too pedestrian. They should have just come out and be like, okay, this is a guy who's really cool, he's really strong, but he accidentally loves to study.
Yeah. Or
bullshit
just have the Nichijou
radioactive
author do
spider.
more textbooks.
Yeah, that's something we found out. The Nichijou author
Yeah, he illustrates music textbooks.
School books.
That's great.
Imagine being a child in Japan and in elementary school. And
Yeah,
like,
I want to learn from those
the cool
books.
guy from Nichijou. Same. Same.
They don't even know what Nichijou is. They're gonna watch the show someday and be like, "Oh, it looks so much like my music textbook."
Yeah. What an enlightenment moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this chapter where Juzo gets to know one of his classmates, and the classmate is really good at studying, helps him, and he just starts drooling over him, like, "Oh, he's my master. He can teach so well. He's so cool." And then the dude is like, "Yeah, also I want to become a doctor because my grandma died and I felt bad about not being able to do anything about it." And that's solid. But then it kind of does this weird thing where they are in a family restaurant, something like Saizeriya.
Yeah.
Or,
Some guy just
Denny's.
starts trashing them for studying hard.
And you know what? The guy actually makes some good points. And it really sucks that that the author had to package that, like somebody who kind of has a good argument, and he has to make him the asshole. He has to make him the Redditor, who's nihilistic and is like, no,
and beefing with two middle schoolers in a restaurant.
I find that very unrealistic.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to be like, "No, this is super realistic. Haven't you seen on Twitter where some reply guy was trying to like, yeah, on Twitter, not in real life.
Not in real life.
I don't think this would happen in real life." And then the guy trying to like kick them off a bridge, that's going too far.
Yeah. I didn't like that
Anyways,
segment. I also thought the bit at the end when they're like, "Oh, by the way, the daughter of the company president who runs the pharmaceutical that made the wasp that stung you and made you young, she's your classmate." I was like, didn't we just have a coincidence of this level in Tenmaku Cinema when there's a famous actress in his class?
Yeah, it's not as big of a. I find it more narratively. I find it more excusable to be like, yeah, he has a classmate who's tied to the mystery.
Yeah,
but I find it less okay to be like, you have a world-class celebrity who goes to your shitty high school. Like, yeah, that's going to happen.
It's more of just the two things happening 1 week after another. It's a bit.
But do you know what's not happening?
What's not happening?
he was sent to this school to like shadow the daughter of his boss or something like that. What happened to that? He doesn't have the assignment. He's just going to school. He's not on his bodyguard duty yet. He doesn't even know anybody else besides what's his name? Ryo and maybe the girls who were kind of mean to him at first, and then they were like, "Oh, he saved me. Now he's nice."
Yeah, well, hopefully in upcoming chapters they'll flesh out his relationship with his class more, and he'll actually get on assignment.
All of these reasons culminate in a barely C tier, so very low, 51 points for me.
Hey, you're liking it better than you did last week.
It's better than the previous chapter, but only because it's focusing on the one thing that's kind of good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm kind of hopeful for this series to get good.
I'm not.
I don't dislike it as much as you do. I'm like, there's some problems with it, but I don't mind it.
It could turn around, but I'm not holding my breath.
Next up
was
something
Ichinose
with
family.
big turnarounds. Yeah,
that was pretty good. That was A tier for me. 72 points.
Yeah, the twists and turns every week.
It's interesting how many twists you can come up with in this setting.
Yeah.
The big twist this time is that it wasn't the grandma who has Alzheimer's.
Yeah,
it's
the grandpa. Yeah,
and that's why he's always.
He seems so reliable, but no, he's actually got Alzheimer's.
I mean, that's nice. That's a nice twist. It doesn't explain the grandma's behavior, like why she would murder Tsubasa in one of the loops. But
no, that is the direct reason. It's because the grandma is seeing that as long as the loops continue, they can continue living together as a family. But if time progressed as normal for them, then because of the Alzheimer's, then the grandpa would, lose his mind even more. And
but that can't be the big mystery underlying everything.
No, it's not the mystery underlying everything, but it is the explanation for the grandma's behavior.
That's not really excusable, because then she's like, yeah, it's okay that the mom disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I can continue this dream world, then it's fine, I guess.
Yeah, she's specifically like, she's wanting to continue the loops for the sake of her being with the grandpa, but I don't think she mentioned the mystery with the mom. Yeah,
the loops are just in Tsubasa's mind, and when they like visit his mind.
Yeah, it's unclear, but it provided the explanation for why the grandma pushed him off the cliff, because she's like, I want to continue the loops.
Fine. Put this above My Hero Academia. This is 70. What was it? 72 points, and Hero Academia is just 70.
Yeah. Next, Tenmaku Cinema.
Okay. Okay. This is also better than last week, I think, because this is when they kind of go through all of the limitations that they would face if they actually started to produce the movie.
Yeah.
And
including the big one, which is that their actress is fully booked. So they're going to have to film the movie on the DL with nobody knowing it.
What a surprise. Who would have thought that real life problems. But the most important thing is that everybody's... The main thing is that now that everybody read the script and is like, wow, this is so good. I love it. That makes Hajime go like, oh, maybe there's actually more to this Tenmaku guy. And then he actually asks him, like, what did you do? And he's like, yeah, I did this movie.
And he's not on the credits.
He's not on the credits. And then he's trying to look him up. And there is this weirdly, like...
he can only find evidence of his existence in one photo where he's in the background. So
he didn't even notice it, but the photo is shot as if it was like, look at this secret guy, he's here all the time. it's a pervert shot of like,
I'm gonna call it now that the reason that, because you said before that they just can't use real movies and a real director because
only for him. Only for Akira Kurosawa.
Yeah, because you said it's supposed to be Akira Toriyama. Now I'm like, okay,
Kurosawa.
Can't say it's
not Toriyama.
Kurosawa, wrong guy. We can't say it because I think that there's going to be a reveal that the director had killed Tenmaku to take all his credit.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But yeah, I mean, they wouldn't be able to do that if it was the real life Akira Kurosawa, who is revered by Japanese society as one of the great ones.
Yep.
Can't besmirch his legacy. But I mean, it's clear that it's supposed to be him. And I wouldn't mind if they just came out and were like, yeah, this is. I mean, it could be. This is alternate reality. It doesn't have to be real, but
so would you say it's a C tier?
Yes, C tier. 55 points. I put it above Kill Blue.
Okay.
I also put it above the next one, which would be Blue Box. Blue Box is Blue Box returns to being Blue Balls. Blue Box is this week when Chinatsu Senpai is kind of like, I can't really read Taiki's reaction to me hugging him last week, so that's why. For her, it's yesterday, and she's trying to breach the subject. Like, did I offend you? And he was about to say like, no, I had such a boner, and then the annoying guy with a buzz cut comes in and is like, no, I have to interrupt you, and then he completely misses his opportunity to reply to her in an honest way. And then when he's rushing back home, it's like, I have to tell you,
gotta tell her about
how I feel about her hugging me. And then his family's like, she left for New Year's Eve with her family, so do you want to talk to her? And he's like, no!
Now he's gotta wait.
So yeah, this is very frustrating again for almost making a step backwards. From
I feel like sometimes with romance-centered stories, I'm like, man, when they get successful, it makes it worse because they have to drag out the romance for longer and longer. It becomes more unrealistic before they get together. Yeah,
you are completely right. And the problem with Blue Box is that Blue Box only has the romance stuff. It doesn't have comedy, doesn't have action, doesn't have ecchi.
If the sports were better, then it would be forgivable.
That's the one out it could have had, and it's not committing. So that's frustrating. So 52 points, that's above Kill Blue and under Tenmaku Cinema.
Yeah. Right, next. Speaking of romance.
What next?
Oh wait, no. I was going to go to Witch Watch instead. But
no. One, you're getting ahead of yourself because Elusive Samurai is barging in, and it's not even that good. It's just fine. It's a B tier for me. That's 63 points. Wait, that puts it above Sakamoto Days, but only by 1 point.
Just barely.
This chapter is it's kind of backpedaling
when Yorishige
from last week.
Yeah, turns to fight.
Yorishige is like, I'm quitting being your dad. I'm going to kill myself or let myself get killed. And now Tokiyuki is just finding the resolve.
Says, no.
Yeah, but he only finds the resolve to do that after Yasuie, his uncle, is like, well, sometimes you have to. I don't even remember what he said, but it was very motivating, and I really like Yasuie because he's kind of unconventional. He's kind of a wuss, but in a nice way, and I can't.
But he's really... also like weirdly brave sometimes, like when he went to get the one guy's brother to join them.
And he's the Miura brothers, and he's also actually really good at fleeing. So he's kind of like he's the OG
Elusive Samurai.
Yeah, he should be his mentor or something. But that's the one thing that I like. The other thing is that Tokiyuki just appears on the battlefield and is completely naked,
unclothed.
He's making the prophecy come true.
Yeah.
Where he's the naked pervert who's darting around.
Ringing a bell towards Takuji, like, oh, come get me. I'm gonna run for you. Can you catch me? That
was okay, but otherwise
it's what you want from Elusive Samurai, isn't it?
Yes. That's what I like. I still don't appreciate the turn of events, so that's why I'm like 63 points, B tier. Could have been better, but okay.
Agreed.
But let's get back to romance because
Witch Watch.
Witch Watch is leaning heavily into that. This is the chapter when Fran made a sensor that can just like translate Moi's affection level into
a feeling
numerical
rating.
data.
Yeah.
And they decide to exploit the system by monitoring how Nico's reactions influence Moi.
And the rest of the guys get to give suggestions for Nico to try to get Moi horny.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is like that episode of Watamote when she tries to become cute.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that? She was doing exactly what Nico was doing at the beginning of this. It's like, try putting your bangs up. That's cute. Try wearing glasses and doing a facial expression like this. Then she does it all at once and just looks really stupid.
Yeah. Okay, I understand this reference now.
Yes. Yeah.
Nico has the advantage of being a cute girl.
Yeah.
It's not saying that what's her name, Tomoko, is not cute, but that one shot is haunting. But
she didn't do it right. If she practiced like Nico.
They suggest that she has to do cosplay, and then she gets interrupted by getting this indigo linen smock, which is it's so unsexy. It's the worst. But Moi has very peculiar taste, and that gets him off. And accidentally gets a full view of her gooch, and that's like no.
It ends it because his training made it so that when he gets actually sexually excited, then he just shuts down.
He got trained wrong as a joke.
Sadly, I thought that their family was dying out. There were not enough of the Oni clan left over.
I guess that's the reason why they're doomed to not continue the family line. Anyways, I like this. This is A tier, 73 points. This is going above My Hero Academia. Is it anything else? Yeah, it's better than Ichinose family.
Yeah, I really like that chapter.
But here's something that's even better. This is S tier. Oh, wow. I'm putting it in honorary S tier, even though it's 79 points in my book. I can't bring myself to say 80, but this is S tier because Roboco, this is such a good chapter. People who are sleeping on Roboco are dummies and drool and they fart and stuff, because this chapter, it starts off as the one thing that I hate, which is Roboco being too relatable to me, where she's fishing for affection, and then
it also starts with a Blue Box reference.
That's fine. She because Blue Box had this popularity poll of not just characters, because Blue Box doesn't have enough characters, but it starts off with her popularity poll of favorite Chinatsu panels, and Roboco, she just wants it so bad. She starts off showing off fake panels, but then everybody remembers
she's edited, so everyone else is uglier.
Honestly, relatable.
It's funny.
But then everybody remembers actually genuine.
Yeah, the times that you actually helped us, Roboco. You're good.
And that's
after
so
all.
wholesome. I really like that. The thing that pushes me towards S tier is when Shu pulls out his Bondo moments, and everybody like Bondo is like, "What the fuck?" And then everybody else is like, "Same."
Yeah.
Honestly, I could go for Bondo best moments Grand Prix.
A Bondo Grand Prix.
Yeah, but I really like this momentum of everybody going, Bondo is so nice. He's such a milquetoast like baby shonen protagonist, but he's in such a wholesome and genuine way that everybody is going like, I can't stop loving this.
It's funny because there is so often criticism of stories where there will be a Mary Sue main character that everyone loves, and people will just like talk about they're the best, and people get annoyed. But then with Bondo, it feels deserved because it's always stuff that we've seen him doing and that we like too. And also he is the opposite of being overpowered. Because he's bad at everything that's actually useful.
But if you call him Mary-Sue, that kind of dampens my enjoyment, don't you?
No, I'm saying that it's not an example of that because it's deserved praise. Whereas a lot of times when that sort of thing happens, it's the writers, they feel like they ran out of time and they need to have someone just say something really quick in praise of a character to make you like them by proxy. Like all the scenes from stuff where some newer character gets introduced and they just have a pre-existing character say, "I like you."
That's true. I guess.
Yeah, that's the stuff people don't like. But with Bondo, it's like, that's deserved.
I don't want the guy who I made up in my head come out and be like, "Here's a video how Bondo is as my and shonen protagonists are shit because they can't do anything better than this, and you should stop reading baby mangas for baby boys."
Delete that guy from your head.
He's going to pop up now that we mentioned him.
Anyway, speaking of things we don't like, next up we have Black Clover. Did you read this chapter?
Of course I did, but I didn't like it because
I really dislike this chapter. Even though I said last week, I was like, "Oh, get hyped because Mario Leona's coming back."
It's the character I'm supposed to love.
Fire Lion Lady. And then she comes back, and her whole thing is that she's fighting against the paladin, and she can't get close to him because he has like tentacle attacks. And then her whole squad is like, we will block the attacks for you. And they do it, and she burns their corpses, like completely incinerates them, so there's nothing left, so she can attack the guy. I'm like, this is villain behavior. I don't like it.
Yes, exactly. I don't even know if these characters are named or if they showed up previously.
They've been like extras before. They're basically nobodies. They're just
even then, it really feels bad when they are treated as like the only thing they can contribute to the fight is to die for her.
And then she doesn't even acknowledge their, she treats their corpses so badly.
She doesn't even treat it as like ammo. She's like, "Oh yeah, okay, this happened. I'm going to continue." And she's even trying to kill herself in the process as well, and that doesn't really leave a good taste in my mouth. And it just reminds me of how
it's the sort of behavior that you want the hero to tell someone, "No, don't do it. Your life is valuable." Yes! Tokiyuki would not approve of this.
This is absolutely that's exactly that, and it just makes me think that this is what what's his name? Black Clover author Tabata.
Yeah.
He read My Hero Academia. He was looking at some chapter with Miroko where she's like just fighting so hard,
ripping all her arms and legs off.
Yeah, and she's still going on. And he was like, I want to have that too, but who could do that? And then he's like, I guess I could use this girl. I don't think I will piss anybody off with that. Nobody likes her, right? She's a muscular girl. Nobody likes that. I hate it so much. But it just shows that even though I have my reservations about Hero Academia, that just shows that how much better Horikoshi is than Tabata.
I usually say Black Clover is like, it's not as memorable as other things, but also it's not bad. But this week I was like, man, this
is morally
I don't
wrong.
like it, yeah.
So C tier, 53 points.
Really? You give it above 50?
I mean, I give it more points than it probably deserves because the art is okay, and it's like, this character is like on screen.
But it's bad. This is the sort of thing where you're like, I wish this character wasn't on screen right now because you're ruining them.
I suppose
by making them do
I guess
this.
We can put it lower.
Black Clover bad this week.
Actually, the main reason why I'm lenient towards is because I'm indifferent about Black Clover.
Because you don't care as much.
Because I don't care. I don't have any heads in this race. It's like, whatever. But I feel good about putting it below. It can't go into F tier.
Next, we got Cipher Academy, Chapter 21. Thousands die in order to make a successful code.
You know what? This was
More
actually
poker time.
This was actually pretty good for Cipher Academy. This was when this chapter starts out with anonymity Chen going like, what the fuck? What happened in between the chapters? Is this the double issue? I feel like I missed a chapter because last week it stopped on her being in such a overwhelming position to Iroha, and now Iroha is kind of like toe to toe with her again. And she's like, "What happened? Did I miss something?" And every reader is like, "Same."
Yeah.
I think
because he revealed he can do the ice cold reading without his glasses. So.
Yeah, because the reason why he can do that is because he made the effort to get to know all of his other classmates, which she didn't do. So he was able to crack all of the codes once he's seen them before. Yeah. And then he's flipping her cheat on her by him going like, yeah, I'll just read everybody else's expressions who's standing around and like basically giving me tips. And then he flips it even further by using her cheat of replacing his cards and challenges her to drop her anonymity. And then she does okay, it. I'll do it. Fuck you. Let's go. And she's actually really cute. So
of course.
She looks so good.
Of course.
And she's kind of an asshole. So cute and asshole, that's gap my way.
So
69 points. Nice. It's still B tier, but I feel good about this chapter.
Pretty good.
Sadly, B-tier. I feel like this series is on its last leg.
I wouldn't be surprised because it's even with the parts of it that are good, it's hard to read, man. Like this, yes. It's because it's so dense with not just talking but also rules every single time. Like every chapter, you're like, oh, I gotta learn all the new rules. It's too much.
That's why this chapter was good because it's a payoff.
Right, yeah.
From
it's
all
a
of the
follow-up
stuff
from before.
That didn't make sense before, now it's making sense.
That's right. Next, we got...
Lastly,
Fabricant 100, The Ethics of Self-Sacrifice. And it's Bath Time 100 this time.
Yes, this cover page is doing a lot of weight.
Yeah. Where would you put this? I really like this chapter.
I put it in A tier.
Yeah, because also we got some more backstory and a reveal.
Yes, it has a nice moral dilemma.
Yeah.
It's usually you don't get this kind of perspective because
right.
Ayako admonishes Ashibi for using self-sacrificial techniques, and he's
even though with his power it doesn't matter as much.
Right, and he's like, what does it mean? Oh, maybe she's alluding to the fact that if other people see me do this, they might freak out. And the only time I could relate to this was when my sister did that. And this is the part that I would praise because usually you get this from like the main character is being self-sacrificial.
Yes.
And some unimportant side character who's like his family member is like, no, don't you think about how you made me feel? And then he's like, yeah, but
this time it's the main was the character right thing to do. Who felt bad about it, yeah.
And now we get it from the different perspective where he's the one who's like, this was actually really shitty for my sister to do because I really worried about her.
Yeah.
But of course he comes to the conclusion that, well, my sister is no longer here anymore, so I can do that.
I don't think that's the conclusion. I think it's because it's saying even though I felt bad about that, then that was the correct course of action because she did save that kid.
I suppose. Also, he's like, well, number 100 doesn't care about me anymore.
No, I want 100 to learn to care.
You know what?
Why he cries. Give a thumbs up when she dies.
Did I mention this last time or a few times before? Where I thought that one thing that could happen is that number 100 reveals that she actually did take a part from like his sister, and that's the part that is making her be caring for her.
Yeah, and she's lying that she just wants to take his body parts when he turns 18.
Yes. In reality, she actually cares about him, and that would be a really good
twist.
like dilemma, because then he would be like, okay, this is fucked up. She took something from my sister.
It'd be like, you killed my sister, but also in a way, you're like the last remaining connection I have to her.
Exactly. So that would be
good.
That would be really interesting. I don't know if it's going there,
Write that
because if they don't do it, I will do it. Also, number one got revealed.
Yes, and we see number one talking to another Fabricant.
He has his own number 100, like Big Booba Monster Woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but parallels. It's like how H-Bomber said, the best final battle is against someone who's just like yourself.
Wait, is that what? No, that's not what he said. That's not a quote from him.
It is a quote from him, or it's a sentiment from him. But people made fun of him just because he didn't explain it well enough, like why that's good. He just stated it and then moved on.
Okay, but I've seen that from different people, and specifically in response to something like Dante versus
Virgil.
What's his name? Virgil.
Yeah, or God Hand versus Devil Hand.
Yeah, so maybe he copied that, and
probably.
It's offensive that he said it was from him, but anyway, so this was a pretty good week. 65 points on average for this whole issue. So
pretty good.
I mean, you know what? If I
didn't put it on the board, but usually we say we didn't read Mashle, Yozakura Family, or Undead Unluck. I actually did read those this week because.
So what do you have to say about that?
So I read all of them. And I was like, oh yeah, I now understand why we usually don't talk about them, because they're all kind of bland. So Mashle is the best out of them, but reading it, the plot for this week is that he's fighting a guy who has slow time, kind of like in Black Clover, except that he's able to fight him because they're just like, oh, he trained so hard that he could move fast enough to counteract the slow time. But then he says it. Like he says, oh yeah, I trained enough that I could move super fast. And I'm like, this is a missed opportunity, because Witch Watch showed us that when you are when you're in slow time, then when you talk, your voice is going to seem really slow to everyone else. And then their voices will sound really fast to you, so you won't be able to understand each other. And they didn't do that.
That's the reason why Witch Watch is so high on the ranking all the time.
Witch Watch better than Mashle.
Thinking of these things.
Yeah, and then in Yozakura Family this week, they reveal that the kids have an uncle. And he's like, yeah, and you've got even more relatives that you haven't met yet. And I was like, wait, what chapter is this? 175? So this is the point at which they've like, I assume they've run out of material for just the nuclear family. And they're like, gosh, shit, we never set it up, but we're going to have to introduce a lot of relatives.
We need more villains. We need more villains. We need more other characters. Let's just, pull something out of our ass.
Then Undead Unluck, they're in space, and they meet, or they're trying to find a guy on a space station, and they see him without a helmet, and he mysteriously says, you must save Mom. And one of the people there, on the mission, starts taking off his helmet, like, oh, since he's here, there must be air, instead of assuming that it's like a ghost or a vision. And he has to be stopped by someone else. You're like, no, don't take off your helmet. That's not really him. And I was like, why does this keep happening in stuff where people go into space? Because that also happens in Prometheus.
Earthchild.
And an Earthchild. It's
so you were going to say Earthchild.
No, I tried to block out Earthchild. Because it happened in there, and that's how they got aliened in that. Yeah, it's really bad. Anyway,
controversial hot take.
You kind of what?
I kind of like it. The movie
Prometheus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody hates it.
Right. Yeah. There's some dumb stuff in it, but in terms of like a spoopy alien prequel, I thought it did all right.
Yeah, it was all right.
Anyways, until next 2 weeks.
Yeah, we have to.
We'll see how naked Bondo will be next time. Who's gonna be more naked, Bondo or Tokiyuki? Take a bet on that.
Bondo. My bet's on Bondo.
Okay, I'll say Tokiyuki to play devil's advocate. We'll see who's correct
okay.
next time. Our bet is only just beginning.
Ooh.